Hi Ashok, welcome to Dakshana's Role Model Attraction section. And we're really glad to have you here today.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I feel honored to be the second member of the Role Model Interaction here. And I just got to know about this new program from Dakshana, and it is very inspiring for other Dakshana scholars and alums as well.
Right, it definitely is. You are very inspiring to all of us. So I have a few questions for you, and we can start with them. So my first one for you would be, so how did you first become interested in technology, and how has Dakshana helped you pursue your interest in technology during your 8 years at Google?
That's a tough question because when I was writing the Dakshana entrance examination, I never, I didn't know anything about IITs. I randomly asked a friend, "Do you know what Dakshana is going to do?" They said, You can get IIT coaching." And then my next question was, "What was IIT?" And this, like, imagine this was in 10th class, and when I was about to write Dakshana examination, and this was like pretty close to end of my 10th class. And the person told, "Oh, this is where you study engineering." And then I said, "Okay, engineering means college." And then somehow I don't know much beyond 11th and 12th standard at that point. So, and then imagining much about technology at that point was even harder. Like I didn't even know what I'm going to do in college. All I knew was that I had a dream to become an IAS officer, which was instilled uh, in me by some of the things that I have seen in my childhood, and also my father was also wanted me to see me as an IAS officer. So I always thought in that direction, but never much on the technology side. But I am really thankful for Dakshana that I was able to unleash some of the potential in me. For example, the way I was able to solve some math problems or physics or understand chemistry in a better way compared to my other subjects like linguistics or social studies, etc. So it was a real mutual fit, I would say, that matched my skills at that time, and unleashing those things and helped me get into IIT in the end. I think it was mainly due to Dakshana, and without Dakshana, I don't know where I would have ended up. And once I went into Dakshana and after I went into IIT, it slowly evolved inside me, like the passion towards technology. And because of the interactions I had with people, the kind of friends I made, and slowly I got used to different ways the world is moving ahead. And that was like what, 2x speed technological evolution within me. Yeah. So that was pretty fast during college. Even during Dakshina, we didn't have too many tools, right? Like when we were studying in Dakshina, all we had were like books. I don't know, nowadays people have phones, etc. At when we were there, like even having a small radio with an antenna, that was a great thing for someone. And that too, without the knowledge of the teachers. Now
Right.
people have phones and they can make calls, they can search on internet, etc. But during my Dakshina days, it was mostly reading books and understanding those concepts. So it was a very focused kind of training, and I liked it personally.
Right. So it kind of helped you unleash your math or problem solving skills.
Yeah,
That would
yeah,
have definitely helped you in your engineering.
yeah. Definitely. I think those skills eventually helped me, and I was able to write, like whether it is writing a program or solving some math problem or proving some theorem, like all those, the logical thinking part, like it developed. Like I had a steep learning curve during my +1 and +2 when I was with Dakshana.
That sounds great. Yeah. Like you knew this is what you wanted to become, but something else clicked really well for you.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. I mean, my father still asks me like, "Hey, do you want to come back and become a police officer?" So I sometimes have those hard conversations with my dad. Yeah.
with that, let's move forward with another question. So, can you share with us some of the emotional challenges that you faced while growing up in a financially disadvantaged family, and how did you cope up with them?
Certainly. So I think I want to separate three things, like my life in JNV, my life in IIT, and then my life in Google, my life after joining Google. So in JNV, most people around me came from similar backgrounds. There were like one or two people who had well-earning parents or parents with government jobs, etc., and things worked out well for them. But there were a lot of other people, let's say 60-70% of them, who had parents who earned on a daily basis, like a daily wage workers. So it was not a big problem for me in JNV. And it was not a problem for me in after getting into Google, because I was able to earn things on my own and also bring stability to my family financially. But the intermediate phase, which is inside IIT, was little was little hard, because a lot of people who were able to get into IIT were able to afford coaching. There's some, like most people who get into IITs or NITs, they had some form of coaching, and whoever had coaching, right, they had talent. I'm not saying they don't have talent, like they had a lot of talent, but at the same time most of them had financial good financial background, right? Like there are very few people like us, you and me, who come from like NGOs like Dakshana or Super 30 or something like that, right? Like there are very few of us, and like I got some sense of inferiority that, oh, maybe I'm not, I don't fit here, I'm not the right kind of person here. So that was my feeling when I just joined, and I didn't have any friends, not many friends, and I was the only one from Dakshina batch, from my batch, to go to IIT Bombay. So I didn't have any friends, and I somehow chose Bombay as my main place there were where I didn't know anyone. So I just went there, and after a few days, I realized that, oh, people wanted to go out and have some meal at some fast food places like KFC or McDonald's, etc. And then I realized, oh, this is expensive. Like even like I think it was around 100 rupees for a meal. Like that's the bare minimum at that. And I was thinking about that. Oh, that is a lot for me. I cannot spend so much on a meal like that, and I need to be careful. But then that kind of define your social circle, like who goes out more and versus who stays inside the hostel and enjoying things inside the hostel. But the good part is, like as there were examinations, and then as I made progress. I got good scores even inside IIT. Like it was kind of natural. So slowly, people, like I was able to make some friends. Like whether I was we were discussing some math problems or some computer science problems. So it was like that. So initially, I had some form of inferiority complex, but then slowly I felt, okay, I also passed the same exam. I should not have any problem with them. It's not by luck that I just cleared this. So, and then I am equally as good as these people. And having some low financial background should not stop me from making some good friends and getting my education, which is the main purpose that I came here. So things worked out. I made very good friends there, and a lot of people are in Google now, so we interact, we talk regularly, and some people are in other companies as well. So we meet sometimes, and we are still friends. So that is good. Like IIT gave me a lot of good friends.
That's nice. So it really doesn't define a person, the financial background. It
Yeah,
might in the beginning, but not really in the long term. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. And other thing, like it was only in my first year, and in my second year there were like two or three other Dakshina scholars, and when I was in my third year there were like five more. So by the time I was in the fourth year, I think there were like 15 people from Dakshina in IIT Bombay at that time. So it was more comforting, and also I noticed that like people who joined, they had similar problem at that time, and we had some of these sessions as well where we explained that, hey, these are some of the problems that we faced, and this is how we overcame such problems, and they were also happy, and it was a good community. Like when I was just graduating in 2014.
After a lot of people saw yours, I think A ranking, it was an inspiration that, yeah, I mean, we can also do it.
Which one? Like
Yeah.
getting yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah, and you had an amazing rank. I think even today for most of the scholars, it's like I want to be like him.
yeah. I think it was both hard work and luck, I guess, at that for that batch. Now there are a lot of people competing against each other, right? So it gets even harder as each year passes by.
Right. So you were talking about, your background, and you were not really aware of Dakshana and such. But even before that, if you move one step back, how did your family get to know about JNV?
So my father was passionate about getting good education for me and my brother and my mother. So my mother did not finish her matriculation when she got married. After 10 years, she started finishing her 10th grade. So she started going to some tuition. This was, I think, around 2002.
Okay. So you
And
were,
I joined
oh,
JNV 2003. So I was 10 years old. So she started going to I don't know the exact year. So somewhere it is 2000 and 2002. So she was going for tuition and she was able to finish her 10th class. She was able to finish her intermediate. She did two bachelor degrees after that. So like my father, like I mean, most of the things were on her own. She was able to study on her own at home, etc. And there was one sir who was teaching this, like had a tuition center and like helping people who wanted to study on their own, etc. And then he one day suggested that, hey, why don't you send your kid to JNV? And then I think he asked me to prepare from some book, and then he asked me to solve some of the problems, and I was able to solve like some of the problems. And his son was also pretty good in mathematics, and he used to help me solve some of the math problems at that time. And I liked solving that. I used to go at 5 o'clock in the morning to his house for tuition, and then solve some of these problems, and then go back. And then my dad is like, "Hey, why don't you write this exam?" Like after talking with that sir, and then I went and wrote it, and yeah, that's how JNV came into my life. So it was like pretty random. Yeah, it was due to that sir who taught my mother and also changed my life getting into JNV.
so how was it when you got to know you were selected?
My question was like, again, what is JNV and what do people do there? And someone told me that, oh, there are like it's a very big school. People teach under trees, and it gave some other version. Like people didn't have great knowledge about how things work, and I was excited that I got into it. But then after I joined, I cried for almost the first 1 month, like every day. The lucky part was JNV and my house were pretty close to each other, so it was only 5 kilometers between my house and JNV. So my parents were able to come like almost every day whenever I want. But at that time, my parents didn't have a phone. Like I used to write them letters like, hey, when you come this Sunday, bring these things. So, and I think there were no this coin box or like my parents didn't have a phone. So if I had to make any call, I had to call someone who is close by. I have to tell them, hey, can you call them at 7 o'clock? And my parents used to go to their house at 7 o'clock and they pick the call if it is if something is urgent. So it's like that. So I cried a lot in the beginning, but then uh, after writing examinations, I felt that, oh, I got some good rank. Let me study better and focus on this instead of just crying all the time.
Makes sense.
There are one or two unit tests. So there are unit tests and then term one, term two, like these kinds of things at that time. I don't know if it is still the same. So we had unit tests are like monthly test. Every month there will be syllabus and the examination will be for that. So after writing two unit tests, I felt that, oh, I can do better here. And then I started focusing more on the studies and slowly forgot about home. So that was my my hobby. And then like reading was my hobby, and getting better score was my very interesting at that point.
So, did
Yeah.
you know your academic potential before you joined? I know it's a young age to know how potential you are, but should have been some difference when you joined JNV.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know anything. Like I relied on my like principal and other people who thought, oh, this guy is doing well. Maybe he can jump a class and go to the next class as well. So I thought, okay, maybe I'm doing well. But then the problem was I was in a bad school as well. When I was in my fifth class, like the whole school had only one teacher, and I was setting up my own question paper at that time and evaluating my answer sheet as well. So it like that, like it was not a great school. It used to be a great school, but slowly I think the quality degraded, and my parents were not able to afford like for some fancy school or some big school. And even in this school, my parents were not able to pay the 20 rupees monthly fees in the school at that point. So like I just stayed in that school, and luckily like JNV got into my life, and then I went into Dakshana. Yeah, all these things happened afterwards.
So you have great snippets to say. So, yeah, coming to that, of course, JNV helped you academically to know how good you are at studies and things like that. So, how did the support of Dakshana program impact your academic and personal growth?
Academic, I'm damn sure that if I didn't get into Dakshana and I just did my 11th and 12th in the same school, I wouldn't be able to solve problems like ones that we get in JEE, IIT JEE, or even some of the questions from state CETs like MSET for Andhra Pradesh at that time, and then or KSET for Karnataka. I don't think I would have cleared those questions without Dakshana's support, and basically the financial support, where I got the coaching to clear IIT. So definitely academically it helped a lot. And then personally also it helped me boost confidence in myself that okay, I can do these things. And also like if you look at my speech that I gave at the Dakshana Felicitation ceremony in 2010, I clearly remember that because I still remember it. Like at one point, I was thinking, okay, Dakshana is doing so much for me. How should I pay back? That was one of the main thing that was in my mind. And I was asking seniors like, hey, what is a good rank in your opinion, and how much rank should I get to get into IIT so that I keep Dakshana happy? Like they should not feel sad that oh we coached some random person who didn't study well. I had that feeling in my mind, and that's why I wanted to get into something. And the answer from that senior was, hey, like if you get under 5,000 rank, you should be good. You will get some good college. And I thought, okay, let's just aim for 5,000. As long as I'm getting under 5,000, that is good. And then after some examinations, my teachers predicted that, oh, this guy will be under 1,000. So I was thinking, oh, maybe I'm on the right path. Even if their estimates go wrong by 5 times, I'll still end up in the top 5,000, if not top 1,000. So definitely it boosted my confidence levels and also added more, like it unleashed some of the potential in me. And the other thing is the again the circle and the kind of friends you make even during the I think it is different. So if you believe in the saying that you are the average of 5 people around you, right? And if the people around you are people in people selected after the Dakshina entrance test, I think you are already getting better. So
Right.
it was a great thing to be surrounded by smart people from other JNVs. And when I looked, there were people from other JNVs who most of them are toppers from their JNVs for in their 10th class. And then some of them are even toppers in like Hyderabad region. Like at that time,
Right.
all South India was in Hyderabad region. All nowadays, I don't know if it is still true. Uh, but it was all in Hyderabad region, I think. So there were people who topped even in the Hyderabad region, uh, like all across all JNVs. So yeah, I definitely made good friends, and also boosted my confidence in myself.
Yeah, it probably brings out a lot of competitiveness in one. It's friendly competition, but you know you're surrounded
Yeah,
by smart people like you, so you know you have to again bring the best out of you.
yeah, definitely. And that's how I have seen things like even in IIT and even at Google, I was surrounded by these smart people in each step, and I felt honored and also feel humble that there is so much more that people know and people can do.
Right. It gives you a first-hand experience before getting into IIT or a company, right?
Yeah. It's like a trial version.
That's nice. So, if you could tell us about the process of preparing for the JEE Advanced exam, how you stayed motivated and inspired throughout your preparation, I think that would be like, really great.
I have to rewind myself to 15 years ago, I think. So it was almost 15 years ago since I joined Dakshana. So I actually studied a lot. In the beginning, I had the homesickness again, like first 1 2 months, I was like crying all the time. And this time, luckily, there was a coin box in JNV Bangalore Urban by the time I joined. And then my dad had a cell phone at that time, and I was able to make calls. Like first 1 or 2 months, I was constantly trying to talk, and uh, I was very sad that I came all this way. And then people like the teacher started some new concepts altogether, and I didn't understand anything in the beginning. But then again, after 1 or 2 examinations, I realized, oh, I can do better. Let me focus on that instead of worrying about this. So I started working hard, and I was able to clear a lot of like questions. Like I was able to catch up pretty quickly, and then get better at solving problems. And in during that coaching time, I studied about like 11 hours every day almost. And if it is a holiday, it was even more. And sleeping was also something that I uh, was able to manage, like not sleeping less, not sleeping more. I was able to get like consistently 6.5 to 7 hours of sleep. So 6 to 7, that was my target, like not more than 7 and not under 6. So that was my target. And I got good encouragement from the teachers, etc. And I think that was good. And even I remember like even when I was in the queues during in the mess for lunch, dinner, etc. I had a small paper where I solved some of the problems. Or if I cannot take a paper with me because let's say it is a PET session in the morning where it is dark, so I keep some problem in my head, and while doing the jogging or the exercises, I think about the problem and try to solve as much as possible in my head. And then once I go back, I put everything on paper and solve it pretty quickly after that. So I do some of the solving when I'm going in the life, etc. Uh, and then the what else did I do? Yeah, and then I solved a lot of these practice tests. Like Time was the coaching partner for Bangalore people. So Time had some material, and then Dakshina provided a lot of material for us at that time. And then I used to go to the library in the school, JNV Bangalore, and the library madam was also very supportive. And I used to solve like there were magazines like Physics Today, Chemistry Today, Maths Today. I was trying to solve some of the problems from those magazines as well. So it was very fun. And then I remember one day I went to my maths teacher. I said like, hey, I solved all these books. Give me one new book. He purchased or he got from some library. His PTR sir, probably you heard of.
Yeah,
But
I know.
he got me another book, and I was trying to solve problems from that as well. Uh, yeah, it was very fun, and I don't know if it was overconfidence or not, but I thought I was very good in mathematics and weak in physics, and I was in chemistry. But then in the end, my marks were the reverse. Like I got my best in physics, and that too, like at the high end of the range. And mathematics was pretty bad in the final exam. So you cannot blindly make assumptions that okay, things will be good and things will be the same way in the final exam.
Right. It's probably like you thought you were weak, so you probably worked more on.
That's the hypothesis I heard from people when I share the story. But yeah, it might be true in hindsight.
That was like great. What you shared with us about your memories, it probably brought your memories back about
Yeah,
how you prepared for your exam.
even
And I,
even during lunchtime, so let's say the lunchtime was about 1 hour. I kind of predict when the line will be shorter and go at that point. So I solve some problem for 10 minutes and then go have lunch and then come back and solve again and then have a nap for about 2-3 minutes in the afternoon and then wake up and go back to the study hour.
you were definitely very determined. It is very difficult to be consistent for a long time. Like 2 years is a long
Yeah,
time.
yeah. For 2 years, I think. Yes.
Definitely, it was worth everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. In hindsight, yes, it was really a worthy effort, and I'm very very happy. And even now, I feel like those 2 years were the 2 years where I worked really hard. And if you want me to go back to any year, maybe I would choose those 2 years to go back in my life. Yeah,
I think it kind of sets a bar for you that I am potential of working so much at any point
yeah,
in life.
yeah,
Later on.
yeah, yeah.
Right. So, looking back at your journey from a poor family background to now working at Google, what has been some of the most significant lessons that you have learned along that way?
I think one of the things that I learned in this journey, especially with JNV, Dakshana, and IIT, and then Google, is that there are so many other smart people uh, in the world, and you can see that evidence like with the people around you, uh, and I think that brings a lot of humility in me. Sometimes you should not have underconfidence and you should also not have overconfidence. So like your confidence should be in check. So like when you look at all the smart people, if ever the confidence bar goes up above the like towards the overconfidence levels, like this is a good indication that okay, you should put that uh, confidence level back in check. And I think that brings some of the humility inside you, and also shows that there are so many smart people around you. So that is one lesson that I have learned all these years. The second lesson that I have been noticing is that there are a lot of people who do not have the right opportunity, but they have the uh, potential to be best if they were given an opportunity. Like how Dakshana gave to a lot of people like you and me, right? So I was thinking about that. I was watching some of like a film just yesterday. It's called Sir, SIR. I think I didn't finish the movie yet, but it showed me that even in a small village there are a lot of people who who are talented. It's just that they are not getting the right opportunity. I think that like Dakshana is like when I watched that movie, it reminded uh, like myself, like and other people that I have seen. Okay, like because Dakshana and JNV gave these opportunities to us, like I like some of us, like or most of us were able to get into a better life now. So like and I felt really proud that I am part of Dakshana and also I'm from JNV, etc. So those are the two things that come on to the top of my mind as we speak now. if I remember more things during our conversation now, I'll come back to this question.
Um, so yeah, could you tell us about a difficult experience you have had when you had to manage with very limited resources in your childhood, particularly in terms of food or anything very basic like that?
Yeah, there are a lot of instances. I Yeah, so when I was in my fifth class, like my father, so we lived in a very small house which had like this asbestos sheet as the rooftop, and it was, uh, and we were not immune to any kind of weather. If it is sunny, it was too hot in the house. If it was raining, it was leaking in the house, and we had to put some bowls from the kitchen so that it won't flood the whole house. So we were living in such a place when I just joined JNV, etc. Uh, so those were some of the hard times, and there were some times where uh, they were rare, but where we didn't have enough food for the day. Those were rare days, but still, my mom recalls some of these days that she fed us just a piece of bread so that we don't cry too much. And then there were days where we just cook rice and have some pickle and just eat with that, or add some chili powder and oil to the rice and eat just that, so that you have enough carbs. I think.
Mm.
Yeah, those are some of the hard times that I have seen during my childhood. The other thing is the government gave some houses to people, uh, like in some scheme, and my parents got a house through that. But then I was in college in my second year at that point, I think, or my kind of first year or second year, so somewhere around that, and they sold the house for so low that flat. It was a small flat and it was very far. We don't even know where that thing is. So someone asked, like, hey, do you want to sell that? And I said, yeah, sure, and give some money. So that my parents gave some money to me so that I can buy some laptop. And I didn't have laptop. I was using the institute's computer science lab. I was going there every day, do projects there and come back. So it was until my like second year, first semester. So third semester in total. Yeah, I got my first laptop with that money. So my parents, like, they sacrificed a lot of things to get me and my brother a good education. And at that time, my brother also joined college, and they had to pay his fees. So they gave some to me and then some to my brother's college, and they just thought, okay, at least we are good for now.
It's very inspiring to see how education was so important for them in
Yeah.
spite of all the difficulty. Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely.
Father like pushed all the time, like all three of us, you study. Like he did not get an opportunity to study when like in his childhood, because his father asked him to work and earn some money for the family, etc. And he was not able to go beyond sixth class, and he wanted us to study. And now like my mom and my brother, and my brother has a master's, I have bachelor's, my mom has two bachelors. So we I think good education background now.
It is very nice to hear as well. All right. Coming to that, so you have delivered numerous inspirational speeches to our scholars in the past. So, and it appears that Toastmasters has also been a very significant part of your life. So, is it a hobby or a passion for you?
I think it's more like a hobby. How I got into Toastmasters is when I moved to Google in California, someone introduced me about Toastmasters. I don't remember who, and the meeting was actually happening in my own building. So I'm like, okay, let me just do this once and see if it is something that I like. And I went in as a guest, and I liked it. I started giving speeches, and it improved my public speaking skills. Especially prepared speeches were very good. Like I improved a lot. And also when I give a presentation, now I don't have a fear that if it is a prepared speech, I don't fear much. I can prepare for like a couple of minutes or hours depending on the length of the speech, and then I can just go and talk. But I still have to improve some of this impromptu speaking, like how we are doing now, and where the question is a surprise. So I think I still have to improve, and also give a better structure to such impromptu questions. So I'm working on that right now. But in overall, I think Toastmasters help me uh, improve my speaking skills and also improve my evaluation skills. Like I can give better feedback to people now, especially like I'm a manager now. This is my fourth year managing a team, and I need to give feedback to my team members on what things are going well and what things are not going well, etc. And I need to do it with respect and also in a way that it doesn't hurt them. So there are a lot of these constraints that I have to keep in mind when I give feedback. So Toastmasters definitely helped me in some of that as well, and presentation skills. And also, I was part of the Toastmasters leadership for the club at Google. I was a president for 1 year, and then I served other roles as well. So it gave me an opportunity to be a leader as well for something that is not work related in Google. Yeah. So
Mm.
once I moved to Google Zurich, Google Switzerland, here I started being part of the Toastmasters club here. Yeah, I think it is a good place to improve your public speaking skills, especially if you think you are not very outgoing or so if you feel that okay you like some people talk very well, right? Like if you go and like have a conversation, they can start any topic and then they can talk for a lot of time. So I think it's very good. I wanted to become like that, and I'm still trying to work towards that.
That's great. It's important to network,
Yeah,
talk with people.
yeah, it will improve your network as well. Like especially when you can have this random ice-breaking conversations when you meet some random person, uh, or just making good friends, right, in the long term. So it is good. So I made a couple of good friends from my Toastmasters club itself, and I hope that we will continue the relationship for the long term.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that brings me to the last question. So you consider Monish Pabrai to be a role model. So would you mind sharing with us a few key takeaways from his influence on you?
Yeah. So lot of the I met Monish sir a couple of times when I was in California, and also I met him I think 2 times at the Berkshire Hathaway meeting. So I learned a lot through his like from his investing philosophy. I was a complete noob when I graduated out of college. I didn't know anything about investing, etc. And like all the speeches that Monish sir gives, like in various places, I listen to them on YouTube or some audiobooks, etc. Not audiobooks, the podcasts. And they are very, very inspiring. The way he thinks and the way he explains things like in a very simple way. If you listen to his speeches, you can understand most of the investing philosophies. So I think that is one thing that I really learned a lot from him. The second thing is what the reasons behind starting Dakshana, or like what are some of the things that happen in his personal life. So those are also interesting. So he recently shared about his, if you can call it a stunt at a casino, where he was sharing a story about his casino experience in Las Vegas. So those are some of the fun things. And also it is inspiring that he visits a lot of the scholars homes. Like whenever he visits India, I think that is really great. Like even now, like when I go like to go to my village, I feel, oh, I have to travel so much in this, and like take this buses and trains, etc. But I think he has a lot of patience there, and that is very inspiring as well. And it inspires a lot of the students as well, right, in return. So lot of Dakshina scholars are happy to see him when he comes over to a class of Dakshina scholars, or the parents are happy when he visits home. And he made and he absolutely deserves all of the things that he gets, right. Like he changed so many lives with Dakshina Foundation. And also, even in investing world, I have seen a lot of people who were inspired by Monish sir, right? Like, for example, even within Google, there is a community and who follows some of the like, I wouldn't call footsteps, but the investing philosophies that are explained by great investors like Monish sir and like Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett. So people respect him. And every year, even at Google, like we have this giving campaign where people donate to Dakshina Foundation. Some people do it for Dakshina Foundation. Some people do it because of the value in they got from investing about investing philosophies from Monish sir. So yeah, I think he is such a great human being and great investor as well. So those are some of the thoughts that I take away from him, and he always inspires me.
Oh,
And
quite
yeah,
all. Yeah.
yeah, like more like our communication is through emails mostly. So uh, and it's good.
Okay. That's great. So that brings us to the end of the session,
Okay.
and it's been great talking to you.
Yes, same here. Thank you so much, and thank you for. I think it's probably a little late at the tea in India right now.
Oh,
It's
there was so much I couldn't cut short. I wanted to, listen to all of your stories, your answers, and yeah, it has been great.
yeah, yeah. And for me, it's been a while since I met Dakshina scholars. I went to India in January and
Mm.
this year, and I was hoping to meet the Dakshina scholars in Hyderabad campus, but turns out Hyderabad campus doesn't have any Dakshina scholars now. So I was a little disappointed, but the next time I visit, I'll try to visit Bangalore or Pune batch and try to meet the scholars.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they would be more than happy to have you.
yeah.
I
And, I really enjoy all the sessions that I have with the Dakshina scholars. Yeah, I think they ask very nice questions, and the questions that used to bother me when I was in their shoes. Yeah.
right. Thank you so much.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much, Sima, and yeah, good luck with your next set of interviews as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.